Good morning. It is Friday and welcome to Summer's Way of Life. It's been a while since I have put a post up because I had my wrist slapped by YouTube for telling the truth. That happened a lot back in 2020 when my YouTube account, for those of you who don't know, was shut down twice. I don't need to elaborate on the reasons why. So what I'm going to do today is give you a nice long garden update because it's been a while since you've seen the garden and it's completely transformed over the last week. 2 weeks it's been almost, isn't it? So let's go and get restarted, and I'll just turn this around. Right, so it's 8 o'clock in the morning, so the sun is not, you can see it's just on one side, which is facing east. Anyway, let me get going and I'll cover every area. You'll see a complete transformation. So in this small area down here, what I've done, and these are little tips which seem to be working. I've put tuppenny pieces, copper tuppenny pieces all round to try and deter the slugs, although one slug did get in, but very few. And as a result of doing that, I have, for the 4th or 5th time, put coriander seeds in, and they're actually growing. They've actually got this far up, so I'm going to watch them very, very carefully. The slugs always eat them. They may not survive, let's see. The other thing I did with these coriander seeds are, these are Romanian coriander seeds, they're much darker, and I actually soak them for like 2 weeks. I had them soaking in water, they absorbed the water, some of them were even sprouting a bit, and I thought maybe I'd rotted them or whatever, but I just threw them in and they have germinated. So it could be the combination between the tuppenny pieces and the fact that they were soaked, and that they were the Romanian seeds, the darker coriander seeds, which tend to perform better, maybe because they're more real. Anyway, I don't know, but these are sprouting nicely. Now, if you look at these beautiful kind of baskets I created, don't they look at the flowers on these? Now these are just hanging basket flowers. I don't know the names of these. I need to go back and check and make a note so that I buy the same ones next year, because they do really well. These as well. These are the Million Bells. These are all hanging basket flowers. Geraniums will be flowering soon. These orange lilies have come up and they look beautiful, although they don't look so healthy, but I think that's because of all the rain we've had. And these lilies, spider lilies, are still trying to flower. They will soon. Over here, underneath this plant in the pot, I have grown fenugreek leaves and coriander. And you can see coriander leaves are slightly different. Look, can you see the kind of serrated edges here? So, and then you've got the methi, which is the fenugreek here, which I've used a lot in cooking spinach curries, different leaves. Okay, now just want to show you here how beautiful do these look. They are nasturtiums. They're finally flowered and they are stunning on the border or in pots. I've actually used these flowers in a salad. Just these petals look lovely in a salad. You can eat them as well. What else have we got? So the calendula, which are marigolds, pot marigolds. They're quite long and they're coming up everywhere. Remember, they're also great for companion planting, keeping pests away from vegetables. So they're everywhere. I've just planted them, put them in everywhere. They're kind of like a wildflower. The hydrangea over there is starting to flower. I think this will come up with beautiful white flowers. And the dahlias, these ones I've put into pots. They were tiny. Remember, they were half eaten. I've put into pots because I just don't want them to be eaten. When they get bigger, I'll put them into the ground. Also, strawberries now. These are strawberry plants. They look so healthy, but I'm picking strawberries every day. Look, there's a a whole load more here, and they're so sweet, even though we've not had much sun and they've been late to flower. This is the wildflower patch I had, and you can see it's coming up beautifully. Everything's late, but we've now got some sun, and hopefully these will fly into colour soon. Poppies and the calendula and all sorts of different wildflowers are here. This is really what I want to show you, because you know how much I love these. Look at these peas. Now I put these up everywhere and they're climbing. I've had to stake them. Some of them I eat. You see here I've got this one here which is thin. I'll eat the others. I leave to grow into marrowfat peas, because these are marrowfat peas. They're so delicious, and they're everywhere. If you look over here, you can see they're all hanging off the plant. Isn't that lovely? It's like you're growing your own food, hanging off the plant in the back garden. Look at these spinach leaves. How healthy do they look? Look, they're huge. These are giant spinach leaves. Look at the size of them. And over here, you've got curly kale. Now I'm going to start harvesting these, because these taste delicious in salad when you massage them with olive oil. I don't want them to get too tough. So I'm going to start harvesting these and eating them. It's salad time. Over here, the only French climbing bean that survived is here. Remember, we've had really, really challenging weather. So I bet you see the transformation. This is what happens. The transformation is exponential. You put all this hard work in, and then suddenly, normally it's around April, May time, but now we're in mid-June because of the weather, but it's still happening. Suddenly you see the transformation, and the heart just expands, because it's all worthwhile. All the effort you've put in, all the input you've put in. Remember, think of a system. You put all the input in. Whoops, you dropped the phone. You put all the input in, and then you're constantly measuring, using your sensors to see where you change, looking at the weather, which is the disturbance coming in, and then you change the input accordingly. But then you see the output, and this is the fruits, literally the fruits of your labour. And this is how life works. Remember this, folks. Right. This is the borage, which I've put in different places. Remember, you can eat the borage. Flowers, beautiful. I don't know all the uses of borage. I know it's a medicinal herb, but I'm growing it. Oh gosh, can you see? Look. I'm going to have to spray it, because you've got these little black fly everywhere. They get everywhere, don't they? Now, over here you've got broccoli, which keeps flowering, but I have eaten these flowers with these little broccoli florets. Can you see? I don't know if you can see that one. You can. And they taste delicious when they're young. So I cut them off and I just gently steam them and eat them. They are so good with a piece of steak or something like that. Over here you've got the beetroot. Now the leaves, you can even take the young leaves for salads, but you can see they're suddenly shooting up, and goodness knows the beetroot underneath will be growing beautifully. In fact, you can actually see the head of that beetroot. Can you see it there? So it's starting to grow. I only noticed yesterday that I've got this raspberry. I think it's either a raspberry or tayberry, but it's starting to fruit. Look. Oh, this is so lovely. What can I show you? Cabbages are coming up, as you can see. Look, they're all coming up. Look at this wonderful salad. You know, not these rubbish salad leaves you get at the supermarket. Live, these that are live, like French salad leaves. They're delicious. And the carrot stalks and onion stalks are, look at them. You just imagine what's underneath. They'll be ready to harvest soon. The sunflowers here need to be staked, but they're growing. Look, it's only a matter of time before they flower. Okay, some more. There's a tray here of different types of salad. There's food everywhere. And do you remember that cumin plant that was only one left? Well, look at it now. I've taken it out and look at it now. Not much I can do with it because it needs hot weather, but it's a great experiment. It does look pretty, and I'm just going to see what the seeds look like. See, perseverance works. I just kept it in the greenhouse covered, if you remember. Tomato plants, they really are trying to fruit now. You can see some of these now, flowers are coming out. Everything is late, but it's happening. You remember I failed with the thyme, and then I grew another tray of thyme, and yesterday I transplanted, it was a leaf day biodynamically, and I transplanted them into little pots. I put them everywhere. They're everywhere on my windowsill, but see, persistence pays off. Here we've got parsley. This is curly leaf parsley, I think. And I've still got a few flowers here. And what I did last week is, because the weather's better, I put courgette seeds and pepper seeds and more bean seeds into a pot, because if you remember last time the slugs got them. Here, look, more thyme. So I'll be sharing these with neighbours, with family, because thyme is lovely to use as a herb in your cooking, right? It's lovely. I need to look at the camera. The garlic, and I'm not sure what to expect, but I've just let it grow like this. I'll be harvesting it soon. Over here, this is the catnip I've got, and I've just left it out, and it's great because here is the compost heap. Look, this is my homemade compost, which is now all gone. So what I do, because I'm limited in space, Ian comes over once a year for this job. He comes over many times to help me out, and we take off the top 2/3, and the third at the bottom, easily seen from here, has already turned into compost, and then we transfer the bottom third into here, which kind of fills it up, and then I can use that for next year. It does seem laborious, it is, but at least it gets the sweat going. We interact, we talk, and it helps me build muscle, which is never worth complaining about, because it's important for women to build muscle. Doing garden is the best way to build muscle. In fact, if you read Rudolf Steiner's work, he says human muscle is built outdoors in nature. Now, you can go into a gym and build muscle. That's not what I'm talking about. It's not that literal meaning. Actual muscle, which lasts and keeps us alive and well and living into late age, that muscle is built in the garden. Rudolf Steiner also states that what we eat does not serve to build muscle. He said that's a common myth. Well, actually, myths are truth, but to be careful with my words. Words have been so damaged, language has been so obliterated by mainstream deliberately, so that we actually don't understand and don't feel real emotion and understand the true meaning of words. So what we eat serves the brain and how we think. Building muscle is outdoors in nature. Nothing beats it. Okay, this grass, can you see it? Look at it. It's green, it's lush, it's full, no patches. If you knew how this feels, just being here on this carpet of grass that you yourself have created, made and nurtured, that's the key. Nothing beats it. I've got the binman outside. If you hear this noise, it's the dustbinman outside. We've had no aircraft over here for a few days, and the sky is blue. We've got a heat wave here in this part of the UK. So look at these hanging baskets. Can you see how full they are now? How stunning they look. All home prepared. This one is not as good But this one, I've forgotten the names of these, but again, I'm going to look them up and make sure I to keep deadheading next year. Let me just show you. Oh, over here are some more flowers that I need to plant out. See, I didn't give up. I keep planting them and keep sowing seeds. So there's more nasturtiums, more calendula. I've got this little duck here from my mother-in-law's garden, and I put a little marigold in there, and this will come up in orange a bit later on. Okay, so let me show you. This is out the side of the house. So these are more tomato plants. Again, they're doing well. They're in small pots, but I had too many, but I put them out and I'm sure they'll fruit. Over here I've got the sweet corn. I've repotted the sweet corn, and I really need to put them into bigger, deeper pots, kind of 12 inches, 12 to 16 inches, and plant them in blocks so that they pollinate. But they're looking really healthy here. They need the sun, so at the moment I put them into this kind of 6-inch tray. Everything is growing. Got more peas here, broccoli. I'm going to be eating all of this, and this is real food medicine. If you understand the biomolecular pathways, well, you won't, but if you educate yourself and you understand that greens, broccoli, they activate a certain pathway in the body that just activates the immune system to do its job properly. I'm just making it very, very simple, the NRF2 pathway, but I don't want to bore you with that. But when you understand how it actually works, you'll understand why greens and so on are so important for the body to function properly. It just activates the body to do its own thing. We are part of nature, folks. Stay human. You should start looking at the new type of medicine that there is coming out, but those of us who understand it are embracing it now. The 99% of the masses who are used to allopathic medicine are going to wait for another 1,000 years for all the studies to be done. By that time, they would have destroyed most of us, or will be nicely merged with robots. And those of you who know. Anyway, I'll talk more about that another time. Look at these potatoes. Now I'm just waiting. I haven't actually earthed up anymore. There's a lot of grass in here, which is protecting it from all the rain that we've had, but I'm not earthing it up anymore. I don't have the time. I've done plenty. It's already like 2 layers, and I'm just waiting for the leaves to die off before I harvest these earlies. So that's outside. Yeah, well, that is actually, as you can see, it was a very well behaved video, but at least it's an update, and just to let you know I'm back. I've also set up an Instagram channel, which I was trying to avoid, but I realised no, my voice is important. I stand for truth, freedom and health. I've been talking about Dr. Shiva a lot to you all, and I am an activist. I'm a truth, freedom, health activist, which means I act and I move and I speak to people about claiming their own voice, which is freedom. Because if you're not able to use your voice and speak the truth and just be free to speak and express yourself, that demoralizes you into inaction, and that's the end game. So do not be demoralized into inaction. You need to keep moving. Truth, freedom, health, freedom to move, freedom to speak, freedom to be your true self. Understand this. It's so important. Get involved in the truth, freedom, health movement, not least because you will become so enlightened and educated on how to think. things I'm learning, and I'm somebody who reads so much and who's read so much, and I'm talking about not just storybooks, I was much younger, but real books from real minds, and most of those minds are now old and buried because that generation is gone, and when it's gone, it's gone, because we're being dumbed down. So the minds that are writing now do not have the intelligence. The language has dumbed us down, media has dumbed us down, we're being dumbed down into inaction. Do not let that happen. Move your mind, move your body, do not be demoralized into inaction. Do not go into a state of despair. That's the game. You don't want to play that game. All right? Have a lovely day, and it's good to be back.